Alright, I'm going to show you how I make arrows. These are for my traditional longbow. This is what the finished product will look like. And these are Carbon Express Heritage 150 is the spine. I shoot a 42-pound Thunderstick mag. I pull a little more than 28, so it's about 45 pounds where I draw that. These are the shafts. Here you got 6. I've already made up a half dozen. Lost one of them. But first thing I'm gonna do is take some alcohol and piece of cotton and clean off the top part. I'm gonna put the wraps. Alright, I had to wait a little bit for the rubbing alcohol to dry off of them. Another thing, this is just for me. On the long ones, I got 100 grain inserts in them. I ordered 50 grains, but 100 grain ones is what came, so I ended up using them. And they shoot alright, but out of that lighter bow, they drop pretty quick. So I was just going to cut these down a little bit at a time and measure them on the scale until I got to 50 grains. And I just was at a trad shoot and picked up some 50 grain ones. So I'll know the ones with the short wraps got 50 grain, and the other ones have, the long ones will have the 100 grain ones in it. But for these, just peel them off. They're a little bit tricky sometimes to get off the backing. You want to be kind of careful when you pull them off so you don't tear up the corners. And you just lay them sticky side up on your mouse pad. Try to get them off your fingers. And I like to line them right up with where the nock and the shaft meet. Make sure you're square. And you just press down firmly on either end of it and start rolling. We'll see how it goes. Looks like it wasn't exactly square, but there should be some overlap to, you don't have to worry about that. And there you go, it's already crusted. That's one done. I'll show it to you. And I'll do the rest of them and then get back to you. Alright, they're all got the wraps on them. Turned out pretty good. The short ones were pretty easy to do. I got them in the Jojan now. We got this jig with straight clamps because we used to shoot wheel bows and use it for that. Build all our own arrows for lots of years. And I only got one helical clamp for it now. So this takes me a while, but it's not too bad. It gives me something to do. Quick break to show you something kind of cool, I think. I learned how to nap and stuff. Here's one of the points I made. This is not my best one, but this is on a bamboo shaft and goose feathers. And that is actually a antler knock on there that I made. Cut the tip of a tine off and made a knock out of it. But this one actually shoots pretty good. I made a real nice one last year on a cedar shaft, and I shot it through a deer and broke it, but I guess that's a good way to use it. That wasn't the deer, that was a deer from back in the day. I think I was 11, and I got in with my muzzler during the youth season. He's pretty decent for being only 11, and I got my goose over there, first goose when I was 8 years old. Lots of geese since then. But I'm gonna get set up here for this. we'll start with the cock feather. This traditional barred one, and the loop part with the circle on there is the front of your clamp. In the back of your clamp, you kind of got a little notch right there, and this back part of the feather lines up with that, well, the front of that notch. It doesn't matter too much. You can vary it how much. See how much space you want between your knock and your fletchings. I just use that as my guide, and I try to do them all the same so they all look the same. You want to make sure it's all level along there, and you want to, before you put glue on it, you want to stick it in there with these helical ones, and make sure you got the notch to start with. There's a notch in the back of the fletcher that clamp slides down, and then your circle goes in the front. Make sure those, but then kind of get to the side of it and look and make sure it's touching all the way, because I've ended up with some kind of cockeyed and stuff, and there's gaps. So you can adjust this front. It's got a plate you can slide back and forth, and your bottom you can slide back and forth. So that looks good. Get some glue, and then we'll run just a thin bead of glue on there. A little bit heavy at the front. And then thin throughout, and a little bit heavy at the back. And I'll probably end up gluing the clamp to it. That's alright, it'll come off. And just want to give it a slight press on there to make sure everything's seated on there. And this is Fletch Type Platinum. This is the glue I got. It takes just a few minutes to set up, so it's not too bad. You can go do something quick and then come back and switch to the next one. So I'll get all these on there, and then I'll show you what they look like. Alright, the first one's on there, and I noticed that the wrap is about 1/4 inch too short where the fletching hangs over, but that's alright. I like to have a little gap there. Otherwise, I was just shooting earlier and I could feel that fletchings come back in my nose and my face, and it's not too bad, but I mean, if I had them any further back, I'd be having fletchings up my nose. And while the second one is drying, I'll do a little show and tell. These 3 are points that I napped. I've done a couple other ones that are not right here, but this one, I mean, these aren't the greatest things ever. This was just out of a piece. It's white. It's alright. I haven't tried shooting that one. This was out of a flake. It's pretty thin and light. This was out of a preform that gave me all kinds of trouble. Get step fractures and everything, so it's kind of big and bulky and heavy, but it'll be alright. These 2 are ones that I bought. Someone made them, obviously, but they both came like this. I had this one mounted on a bamboo shaft, and I could not get it to shoot, and the point looked like it was just a little off, so I took the point off of it and then I sharpened up the edges a little bit. But those are pretty nice. I might have to try mounting this one up. I got some more cedar shafts downstairs. Alright, you can see I got the fletchings all done on these. They look pretty nice. I'm going to change the nocks out to like a black one or a white one. But now I just got to go mark the ends and cut them off. I mean, they cut 1 inch off, but I'll do that and show you that. Alright, I don't have a arrow cutoff saw, so I just put my Dremel on a vise with the cutoff wheel, and I only need to take 1 inch off, so this will work. So I'll go ahead and do that. You want to make sure you wear safety glasses when you're doing this. Alright, this doesn't always cut perfectly straight, but I'll take a piece of probably 400 grit sandpaper and make those flush. That works pretty good just for quick and easy. You don't want to use a hacksaw or anything because the teeth are too coarse, and you'll just like cut like slivers and strips out of it. You learn by experience on that, I guess. Alright, now before you glue your tips in, you're going to want to take some alcohol on a Q-tip and clean out all the like powder and stuff from cutting them inside of the shaft so your glue can stick good. So you just put some on a Q-tip, put it in there, and you can see that it's dirty. And then you'll just let that dry for, I don't know, half hour or so, then you can glue them up. Alright, I use a different glue. It's more of like a super glue type stuff where I'm putting them in my nocks versus the Fletchite Platinum for my fletchings. This sets up a little faster and it's harder. You can also use like hot melt glue. I have that, but it takes a while longer for it to set up, or not to set up, but just to use it. It's kind of messy. I like to just get plenty of glue on there and get it started and push it down, and I just wipe the excess off on a paper towel, kind of spin it around, and then set that one aside to dry, and then you'll just do the same on the next one. So try not to touch it too much with my fingers on the part where you put the glue so it bonds better. I don't know if it makes a huge difference or not, but there you go for that.